Hey everyone, welcome back to Usof Reacts, your go-to spot for all things movies. Today, we're diving into the high-flying, metal-clashing world of Iron Man 2. That's right, the 2010 blockbuster that continued Tony Stark's journey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's suit up and get started. Iron Man 2 hit theaters in 2010, directed by Jon Favreau, and once again starring Robert Downey Jr. as the genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist Tony Stark. The film picks up 6 months after the events of the first Iron Man, and Tony's identity as Iron Man is now public knowledge. The plot kicks off with Tony facing pressure from the government to hand over the Iron Man technology. Senator Stern, played by Gary Shandling, isn't too happy about a private citizen owning the world's most advanced weapon. But Tony, being Tony, isn't about to roll over easily. Enter our villain, Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash, portrayed by Mickey Rourke. Driven by a vendetta against the Stark family, Vanko crafts his own arc reactor and some deadly electrified whips. His first big showdown with Iron Man at the Monaco Grand Prix is one of the film's most iconic scenes. The Grand Prix battle is a standout moment, showcasing some incredible special effects and choreography. It's gritty, intense, and gives us a real sense of the danger Tony faces. Plus, it's our first glimpse of the new, suitcase version of the Iron Man suit. How cool was that? Aside from external threats, Tony's dealing with some serious internal struggles. The palladium core in his arc reactor is slowly poisoning him. This adds a layer of vulnerability to his character that we didn't see in the first film. It's a race against time as he tries to find a cure while keeping up appearances. Sam Rockwell joins the cast as Justin Hammer, a rival weapons manufacturer. Hammer is envious of Tony's success and tries to one-up him by enlisting Vanko to create his own line of armored suits. Rockwell's performance adds a touch of humor and sleaze, making him a memorable, if somewhat less menacing, antagonist. We also get the debut of Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. Posing as Tony's assistant, she's actually a S-tier-old agent keeping an eye on him. Her fight scenes are sleek, stylish, and gave us a taste of what was to come in future MCU installments. Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, has a more significant role in this film, setting up the wider Marvel universe. He provides Tony with a clue to solving his palladium problem, leading to the discovery of a new element. This subplot ties nicely into the larger narrative of Tony's growth and his relationship with his father. The climactic battle at the Stark Expo is a full-throttle spectacle. Tony and his best friend Rhodey, now donning the War Machine armor, team up to take on Vanko and his army of drones. It's explosive, action-packed, and delivers on the promise of a superhero showdown. And amidst all the chaos, there's room for some heart. Tony and Pepper Potts, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, finally share a kiss, giving fans the romance they've been waiting for. Iron Man 2 may have its critics, but it played a crucial role in expanding the MCU and developing Tony Stark's character. From its thrilling action scenes to its deeper character moments, it's a worthy sequel that set the stage for future Marvel films. With the world now aware of his identity as Iron Man, Tony Stark must contend with both his declining health and a vengeful madman with ties to his father's legacy. With the world now aware of his dual life as the armored superhero Iron Man, billionaire inventor Tony Stark faces pressure from the government, the press, and the public to share his technology with the military. Unwilling to let go of his invention, Stark, along with Pepper Potts and James Rhodey Rhodes at his side, must forge new alliances and confront powerful enemies. Now that Tony Stark has revealed to the world that he is Iron Man, the entire world is now eager to get their hands on his hot technology. Whether it's the United States government, weapons contractors, or someone else. That someone else happens to be Ivan Vanko, the son of now deceased Anton Vanko, Howard Stark's former partner. Stark had Vanko banished to Russia for conspiring to commit treason against the US. And now Ivan wants revenge against Tony and he's willing to get it at any cost. But after being humiliated in front of the Senate Armed Forces Committee, rival weapons contractor Justin Hammer sees Ivan as the key to upping his status against Stark Enterprises after an attack on the Monaco 500. But an ailing Tony has to figure out a way to save himself, get Vanko, and get Hammer before the government shows up and takes his beloved suits away. And can he figure out what a mysterious figure named Nick Fury wants with him? After Tony Stark announces to the world that he's Iron Man, he faces many problems in his life source is poisoning him, the US government wants his tech, and someone's out to kill Stark. That someone is Ivan Vanko, son of Anton Vanko, who worked with Tony's father Howard, but Howard then sent Anton to Russia. Ivan tries to kill Tony Stark at a Grand Prix in Monaco, but Ivan is then arrested. However, Tony's rival Justin Hammer helps Vanko escape from prison and hires Vanko to create two suits similar to Tony's. Tony also assigns his assistant Pepper Potts as CEO of Stark Industries. It's now up to Tony to defeat Ivan and Hammer and to fix his arc reactor before he can die. 6 months have passed since Tony Stark has defeated his former friend, Obadiah Stane, aka the Ironmonger, and he has publicly revealed his identity to the world. Tony is facing many issues with his life, such as using palladium for his arc reactor, which is causing serious problems towards his health, and a rival inventor named Justin Hammer wants to put Stark Industries out of business so that he can become the top inventor. Tony's recklessness is reaching its breaking point for him when his friendship with Rhodey at risk and his love for Pepper in serious jeopardy. However, Tony is soon faced with another issue when Ivan Vanko aka Whiplash begins to seek revenge on him for getting his late father, Anton, dismissed from Stark Industries by Howard many years ago. With the stakes held high for Tony, he must form new alliances with Natasha Romanoff and Nick Fury, who are both agents of S. Hierald, in order to defeat Hammer and Vanko once and for all. In Russia, the news details Stark Industries CEO Tony Stark Robert Downey, Jr., revealing his identity as Iron Man to the world. Ivan Vanko Mickey Rourke, whose father Anton Vanko Yevgeny Lazarev has just died, sees this and begins building an arc reactor similar to Stark's. Anton tells Ivan before dying that all he could give Ivan was his knowledge and that it should have been Ivan on the TV instead of Tony. Ivan had access to some old blueprints for the arc reactor and they had two names on it, Howard Stark and Anton Vanko. 6 months later, Stark has used his Iron Man armor to help maintain world peace. He reinstitutes the Stark Expo in Flushing Meadows to continue his father Howard's legacy. The last time Stark Expo was held before was in 1974. Stark had access to some of Howard's old, recorded videos where he talks about the city of the future. Senator Stern Gary Shandling demands that Stark turn over the Iron Man technology to the government. Stark's rival Justin Hammer and the current primary defense contractor to the military, and his military liaison Colonel James Rhodes, are also invited to the Senate hearing to testify. Stern reveals images showing that foreign nations are well on their way to developing their own Iron Man systems based on Stark's design. Stark refuses to hand over the weapons system to the US government, claiming that foreign nations and business competitors, including Hammer Industries, are decades away from successfully recreating his achievements, and that the armor is in fact his own property. The palladium core in the arc reactor that keeps Stark alive and powers the armor is slowly poisoning him, and he has failed to find a substitute. Stark's blood toxicity is already at 19%. The continuous use of the Iron Man suit is accelerating Stark's condition, and the arc reactor is depleting palladium cores at a high rate. There is no known replacement for the palladium core. Growing increasingly despondent and reckless due to his impending death, and choosing not to tell anyone about his condition, Stark appoints his personal assistant Pepper Potts Gwyneth Paltrow, CEO of Stark Industries, and replaces Potts with Stark employee Natalie Rushman Scarlett Johansson. Happy Hogan Jon Favreau is Tony Stark's bodyguard and chauffeur. Stark travels to Monaco with Pepper and Natalie. He decides to race himself in an F1 car as his blood toxicity reaches 53% and Stark knows that he does not have much longer to live. Vanko attacks Stark while racing at the Circuit de Monaco, using an arc reactor of his own powering whip-like energy weapons. Using his weapons, Vanko cuts Tony's F1 car into two pieces. Seeing the attack, Happy and Pepper drive onto the course with their Rolls-Royce to deliver Stark's suit to him. Stark defeats Vanko with the aid of his portable briefcase armor and learns that Vanko is the son of his father's old partner, Anton Vanko, who had collaborated with Howard on the first arc reactor. Anton had defected to the US in 1963. Anton was deported to his native Soviet Union in 1967 following attempts to profit from the technology, and died in poverty, explaining Vanko's desire for revenge on the Stark family. Ivan was convicted of trying to sell Soviet-era weapons-grade plutonium to Pakistan and served 15 years in Kopiast prison. Rival defense contractor Justin Hammer Sam Rockwell fakes Vanko's death inside prison, plans his escape and recruits him to perfect a line of armored combat suits to upstage Stark at Stark's Expo. At what he believes is his last birthday party, Stark gets drunk while using the Iron Man armor, forcing his friend, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes Don Cheadle, to intervene. Stark had told Rhodes about the palladium poisoning. Rhodes dons Stark's Mark II armor and battles Stark. The battle ends when the combatants both fire repulsor beams at each other, creating a huge explosion. After fighting with Stark, Rhodes delivers the armor to the military. Hammer gets the contract to integrate advanced weapons into the Iron Man suit. Nick Fury Samuel L. Jackson, director of S. Hirold, approaches Stark, revealing Rushman as undercover agent Natasha Romanoff and that Howard Stark was a S. Hirold founder whom Fury knew personally. Fury gives him some of his father's old material. A hidden message in the diorama of the 1970 for Stark Expo proves to be a diagram of the structure of a new element. With the aid of his computer J. Arabates, Paul Bettany, Stark synthesizes it. Vanko reveals to Stark that he is still alive and seeking revenge, so Stark uses the untested element, removing his dependency on the palladium. Vanko fails to deliver the combat suits to Hammer and instead says that he has worked on armored drones. This angers Hammer, but he has no choice. At the expo, Hammer unveils Vanko's armored drones, led by Rhodes in a heavily weapons-laden version of the Mark II armor. Stark arrives in his new armor to warn Rhodes, but Vanko seizes control of both the drones and Rhodes' armor, and attacks Iron Man. Hammer is arrested while Stark's bodyguard Happy Hogan and Romanoff attempt to capture Vanko. He escapes, but Romanoff hacks Vanko's network and returns control of the Mark II armor to Rhodes. After defeating his drones, Stark and Rhodes confront Vanko himself, now in a new, very powerful suit of armor. Neither can match Vanko, but Vanko is ultimately defeated when they fire repulsor rays at each other, causing a large explosion. With his suit too damaged to continue the fight, Vanko activates his suit's self-destruct mechanism, along with that of his drones, apparently killing himself in the process. Stark saves Potts from the exploding drone's remains. Potts quits as CEO, and she and Stark kiss. At a debriefing, while news footage of the Hulk's rampage plays, Fury informs Stark that while Iron Man is a suitable candidate for the Avengers Initiative, he himself is not. Stark agrees to serve as a consultant if Senator Stern acts as presenter at a ceremony planned for awarding Stark and Rhodes with medals for bravery, which Stern reluctantly does. In a post-credits scene, Hirold, Agent Carlson Clark Gregg reports the discovery of a large hammer at the bottom of a crater in a New Mexico desert. That's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more movie reviews and analysis. What did you think of Iron Man 2? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep watching, and we'll see you in the next video.